So glassy. Literally my skin looks like glass. Micro stroke brow pen. Oh my god. Hey pretty girl, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Kristen Jasmine and I just post literally whatever I want here on YouTube. Honestly, I just miss being on YouTube so much, so I thought that we can just sit down, have some girly time. I walk you guys through my everyday makeup routine just because like it's been a while, and I'm sure some of you guys have been wondering what are some of my favorite beauty products lately, and it's fall time, so this has been my updated routine. A lot of you guys know me for a slightly more glowy base. I wanted to show you guys how I achieve my everyday look. I have been wearing this look up and down and I've been getting so many compliments on this. I thought that we could sit down and just do a long form video just chatting about it. Every single product and shade will be listed in the description box if you're wondering, just for your convenience, but I don't want to make this intro too long. So without further ado, let me show you how to do this look. Wow. Hi guys. So, okay, let's get started. I fall inspired. I'm just gonna do my everyday makeup routine because it's been a while since we've actually done anything makeup related on here. All right, first things first, we're gonna get started with brows just because I cannot do makeup unless there's some form of brows on my face. I love using the Refi Brow Sculpt. This has been my favorite brow gel I've tried. I feel like other ones were just a bit too stiff for my brows. I love the fact that it comes with a brush as well, because I think that one thing I hated the most was losing my eyebrow brush, but this one has like a 2-in-1, so I don't even need to buy a separate eyebrow brush. You get both in one, so it's worth it. I also bought this earlier this year and we're still going strong. I definitely think that the brow sculpt is worth it. I hardly ever fall for like the oh my god you need to buy it right now. Trying this product myself, I was like, okay, maybe this one is worth all the hype that the TikTok girlies are giving it. I've been loving these Anastasia brow pencils. These are the Anastasia micro stroke brow pen. Oh my god. I have the shades Ebony and Chocolate. Sometimes I use dark brown if I just need a little bit of extra. Here is jet black, so sometimes I do go in with that first. I always take Ebony and I start from the back of my brow and move forward. And I love how tiny, like the applicator on this is tiny, and I love how small and tiny the strokes are. Pen makes my brows stay on so long. It's like one of my favorite things. So now I feel like I have enough depth. I just use the chocolate shade, which is like a lighter shade, and I always go in with like brush strokes in the front. You can very much tell that like my brows are distant friends, like not even cousins, like distant friends. I don't like overly dark brows. I feel like they just look kind of angry on me, but I feel like this is good. If you have like naturally thicker brows, then I don't think that this particular product would work for you. But I have like medium to thin brows. This works perfectly for what I need it for. First thing first, I'm always going to use my Total Eye Lift from Clarins. This is my favorite eye cream, and I've been using this consistently for a year and some change now. It has made such a difference in my under eyes. I don't have like heavy pigmentation anymore. They reformulated, but honestly, I prefer this packaging over the newer packaging, like the heavier packaging, even though I understand that the second packaging is meant to be refillable. I just prefer this, and I always put some on top of my eyes as well. The whole point is to make sure that all of your eyes are receiving treatment, not just your under eyes. Next, I go in with my Clarins Double Serum in any form of milky toner or serum. I'm working through my Ilia face base and I'm using the light version for the Clarins serum. I just do a few pumps of that, and then I take my face base milk, and then I always put it on the palm of my hand first, and then I apply it to my face. One of those skincare products that you have to let sink into your skin at least like 60 seconds to like 2 minutes before you apply any other products. But I love how it makes my skin feel, and because I sit down to do beauty content every day, I do count this as kind of like my everyday skincare. It just makes your skin look so glowy, so glassy, and it's super hydrating. You can use any type of light serum and milky toner. That changes for me on a day-to-day basis, but as of late, especially as the weather is getting colder, I've been liking thicker milky toners, and I feel like this just makes my skin so alive, so awake. It's really nice. Depending on if I remember, I go in with a moisturizer, but I kind of don't know where my moisturizer is, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of the Say Glowy Super Gel. I'm so happy I have 2 of these because this is one of my favorite like year-round products. It just makes your skin look so hydrated and healthy. Definitely one of my favorite products. Like it just makes your skin look so good. Like you can literally see the reflection of my pin in my skin. It's super nice. Here's a little bit of my Danessa Maracas Boost Juice Boost. I take glowy skin prep so seriously in the fall winter time. I'm gonna be using a lot of matte based products, so having a super glowy base just means a lot to me. You never know what direction my makeup's going in. I feel like you can't go wrong with having a glowy base. On certain days, I use a little bit of my Milk Hydro Grip just so my makeup can stick. Super nice. Like literally my skin looks like glass. Looks like there's a glass filter over my skin right now, and that's kind of like the look I want to go for. Just like very glassy skin. I don't know how this is gonna translate when I edit this, but I will say in the viewfinder and in person, skin looks so good. Very, very, very plump, juicy. Okay, for foundations today, we're gonna be using my two favorite foundations of life. This is the KVD Good Apple Serum Foundation, and this is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear. I love mixing these two. Shade-wise and formula-wise, I think they just do really, really well. New Caledonia is definitely more of like my actual shade match. I consider this like one of my perfect matches. I would just put a little bit on the perimeter of my face, and I feel like that normally just does enough. It does a really good job of covering up my hyperpigmentation as well. I've been really liking NARS products lately. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the Good Apple foundation, which is a little bit lighter but still matches me. This is in the shade Tan 78, but I just take a little bit of Tan 78 in the inner portion, put the NARS on the outer portion of my face. My makeup brush varies, but my favorite makeup brush is the face-based brush from Huda Beauty. I love the fact that it's more of a dome shape. I just love the fact that it's a bit more firm, so it doesn't move the product around much. Whenever I want more of a full coverage base, I would go in with a brush like this. Because of how dense this brush is, it normally just like stamps the makeup in place, and it's such a good brush. Also, a quick tip, when you're blending your foundation, first thing you want to do is blend down into your forehead. You're gonna take the excess and then blend it up into your hairline, and that's how you get like a seamless blend. It just makes my skin look so just beautiful, beautiful. Now, another trick that I've been doing is taking my NARS Pot Concealer. This is in the shade Truffle. This one is more of like a orange shade. I figured I wouldn't be able to use it, but I've been using it more as like an under eye corrector, and I have been loving it in that capacity. I just take a little bit of the Pot Concealer. A little bit truly goes a long way, and I just pop it under my eyes. My eyes have been looking a lot more hollow, and this has really been helping. It's not my exact skin tone. Once you put it over foundation, it just blends really, really well. I find that the soft matte concealers don't work well as an everyday concealer for me, but these work really well as more corrective concealers that I put under my liquids. I'm just gonna pop that right on top, so taking it under my eyes, and then I just go like right under my eyes as well. I have very indented eyes, so I kind of have to take my under eyes in sections. I'm also gonna go in with the liquid concealers. I don't tend to like care if I don't blend it in all the way. I do my contour, my blush, and my concealer backwards. I find that doing concealer as my last step allows me to play around with the intensity of my blush, intensity of my contour. I'm using the Say Sun Melt. No, this is the Dew Bronze, not the Sun Melt. This is in the shade Sail. I love this shade. I think it just looks so good. It's not too cool, not too warm. It's rich enough that shows up on my skin without it being disruptive and not looking muddy. Honestly, just such a pretty shade. Blend up my contour today. I'm using my Patrick Ta or Face 3 brush. I tend to just like blend up like to the back of my cheek. I don't tend to like more so drag it down. It's because it just doesn't work for my facial anatomy. I do try to bring it like right mid cheek just to give me a little bit of contour and lift and just make my face look a little bit slimmer. My temples tend to close the gap and make my forehead look just a little bit smaller. That forehead contour be helping, but I just take a little bit of that and then I just run it on the sides of my face. I do want a little bit more of just like a chiseled contour, so I'm using the Makeup Forever Artist Sticks. This is in Limitless Brown. I'm just gonna go right in the hollows of my cheek just to give me a little bit more of a contour. The reason I'm using this shade is because I don't want it to be too cool. Normally when I want like a very slimming contour, I would go in with my Westman Atelier stick. I've been leaning more into the Makeup Forever sticks, and it's been giving me the intensity that I want. Like as you can see, just like that really chiseled contour look that I love, and just like strictly on my cheeks. Now we're gonna go in with a few blushes. Show you guys like my favorite blush combo lately. Getting a lot of questions on how I get like my makeup to look so toasty, so warm. I've been using Toasted Teddy from Broad. I started using this in like February of this year and have not put her down since. I love how the shade looks on my skin. I don't know if the camera's picking it up well. It's the perfect like burnt toasty shade. When I found out that Mel Cosmetics discontinued Daydreamer, I was so mad because I wasn't sure if I was ever gonna find a blush in that tone again, but I did find it, and it's in Toasted Teddy. Perfect for somebody like if you're a black girl like me who loves more tonal makeup, you are gonna absolutely love. Speaking of tonal makeup, I'm going in with Coco Loco. These are the bronzers from Huda Beauty, and this is literally a brown blush. It's out more like a deep reddish color, but still keeps that brown essence. I don't know how they formulated the shade, but I do think that it just looks so beautiful on the skin. Whenever I just want a little bit of like warmth, orangey warmth, going with Argan from NARS. You don't have to use all 3 blushes. I just tend to like to use all 3. More lightweight and super buildable, so I just use it as like a final glowy step. For today's concealers, we're gonna be using our Hourglass Vanish concealers and the Lawless. This has been my favorite concealer combination forever. I love using these two in tandem. So we're gonna go in with the shade Brandy first. Brandy is closest to my skin tone, so I'm gonna pop that right in the middle of my under eyes, forehead, and nose. I'm gonna take Teak, which is a slightly lighter shade. I'm just gonna pop that on the inner corner of my eye. Always take a sponge. My favorite is some Sonia Kashuk. You can get these at Target, and I just blend that out real quick. Let's bring you guys in a little bit closer. Whenever you're dealing with under eye concealer, you want to blend from the outside, go in, right? So always start on the outer corner, start tapping in place and blending. Use like tiny back and forth, like tiny circular motion. As I move to the ends of my eyes, I tend to slant my sponge. Because this part of the sponge doesn't have much product on it, it blends easily and seamlessly into my blush without taking away too much of that pigment. And once I've had a seamless transition from my concealer into my blush, then I can blend the inside. So this is the before, harsh lines. This is the after, nice and seamless. Once I'm done, I go into my inner corner and I make sure to fill in all the gaps of my under eyes. And then I just do the same thing on the other side. You blend out all of the excess concealer at the ends, create that seamless blend, and then you move over to the inner corner. In terms of blending out my forehead, I always just take my foundation brush and just blend out the concealer that way on my nose. I'm kind of like pretty lazy with this part. My concealer is blended, but I did lose a little bit of my blush. I'm gonna take my blush brush, any leftover product, and blend out right over my concealer for more of a seamless blend between my blush and my concealer. Normally my under eyes will look good here. I do want a little bit of brightness, so I'm going in with Carmelo from Flawless Beauty. Allowing your concealer to sit is just gonna give it a little bit more coverage, especially when you're dealing with like a lighter concealer. You want to make sure that you're making sure that the lighter concealer doesn't sink in and start meshing with your deeper, more skin tone like concealers. I don't bring this one all the way out the way I would normally do my other concealers. Just make sure that it's fully coating my under eye. I love using these two concealers together. I feel like they just work so well. So I've been testing out a bunch of different under eye powders. I'm really liking the one from Fenty and Cashew. I've also been liking Peach Pie. This is like my go-to, and then my one size powder. Today I think we're just gonna set with Peach Pie. I think I want to set with something that's more, I keep losing my train of thought. I keep totally like forgetting what I'm gonna say. I just did my makeup yesterday and I can't find a single under eye powder brush. Make sure that you are blending under your eyes. Before you're setting with powder, you don't want to set a crease in place. Take a light layer and run it under my eye. I like setting with a light layer before baking. I just feel like it just makes my bake just last so much longer. The Beauty is just always gonna do it for me every single time. I'm gonna bake with two powders. I'm just gonna use my one size translucent and my Fenty Cashew. You don't have to use as many powders as I do. I'm really just planning out makeup today. I'm taking translucent on the innermost portion, and then I take a little bit of cashew and I pop that on the outer portion of my eye. I take this time to set my entire face using my Sephora collection hazelnut powder. Just set all the places that we didn't set with the Huda Beauty powder, just like that, just to give me more of a seamless face. Now during this time I would just apply all my bronzer products. Yo, I can't find anything today. I'm just gonna take my Juvia's Place bronzer duo. This is in dark. I'm just gonna take the darker shade and just apply it. My bronzer changes honestly every single time I do my makeup. This is just the bronzer of choice today. My favorite bronzers. But I feel like my face looks unbalanced if I don't have some type of like contour bronzer on my nose. I feel like everybody knows this hack by now. This has been something I've been doing since I started doing makeup in 2015. Taking some bronzer and popping it on my eyes as eyeshadow. One of my favorite things to do. Super, super cute. Just leans for a more cohesive look. Take a fluffy brush. I pop that on top of my eyes. Some days when I want to look extra put together, I just pop a little bit of the same bronzer onto my under eyes. Some days I would do a brown eyeliner, but I think I'm just gonna forgo the brown liner today. I just want to add a little bit of depth to my under eyes. I'm just using the contour side of the Deets Duo in Espresso. I want more of a burnt blush, more brown toned look. Using the Amore E Mariposa palette from Mel Cosmetics. Taking that deep orange shade, I'm just popping that right on the apples of my cheek. I want more of like a burnt orange kind of fall kind of look today. Whenever I'm doing my blush, I always start from the back of my cheek and brush it slightly into my under eyes. Do want a little bit of something peach, number 2 from the Juvia's Place blush duos, for a little bit of some type of gradient. For mascara today, I'm just gonna go in with my YSL Lash Clash. This is by far one of my favorite mascaras that I own. So good. Actually, like for me, figuring out what kind of mascaras or lashes looked best on me, I figured that out through the YSL Lash Clash. I told myself I'm not gonna go crazy on the mascara, and then I find myself going crazy on the mascara. I feel like ever since I found a mascara routine that worked for me, I don't feel the need to use lashes anymore. No, I feel like once you find the right mascaras that match your vision, like you literally can make anything possible. Also, when my face is like this, then I start to like start. What the hell is that? Girl, use the words the Lord gave you. And I always make sure to take that extra powder up under my eyes just for an additional lift. My blush tends to get lost, so again, you just have to layer. Just go in with like a blank brush with any excess product and just bring back what was lost in my blush. Always take a little bit of excess powder, run it under my chin, and for the most part, we're essentially finished. Use my rich brown lip liner from Huda Beauty in a while. I think we'll pop that on today. My camera so rudely died on me. I'm just gonna top that off with some molasses from Miss, who is this? Sephora collection. The older formulas though, the newer formula just not hit like the older formula. Just gonna take a little bit of this dark brown lip liner from LA Girl and just pop that right on my cupid's bow. A little bit more depth, and then right on my bottom lip, a little bit more of a contour. XO Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Yvette XO. I'm gonna pop that right on my lip. This is one of my favorite nude glosses. So good. Really liking more brown nude glosses, not like pink, not peachy. Just give me like a solid brown nude, and this is exactly what I look for. The shade Boy Bye. Like, they don't ever make brown lip glosses this deep. Just like a little bit of like to marry the two shades, using a Fenty Glow Heat to blend the shades together. Then if I feel like I'm losing a little bit of that brighter shade, go back in with Yvette just to bring the shades back to life. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that orange shade and just pop that right on the corners of my cheekbones just to give me a little bit more warmth. This is a totally extra step, you don't have to do it, but I highly recommend that you do. Are the One Size Boucle Silk powders. I have the shades medium dark and rich medium dark. I always start off with rich medium dark first since this is like the warmer shade. I use this shade to blend from my under eyes into my blush just because it's more of the warmer shade and it helps get rid of that line of demarcation. I just run it through and it gives me like the nicest, if I want a little bit of brightness, go in with the shade medium dark right on the inner corner. So what I'm going to do now is take out the rest of my curls and I'm going to come back and this is the final look and I'm so obsessed with it. Okay guys, hair is out. Honestly, I have been living my best life with this hair. Like, I am so obsessed. How cute. I feel like I just look so put together. Everyone has their signature hairstyle. This is definitely one of mine. As these fall out, the curls are going to shift more towards the bottom but still keep the body of the middle, which is exactly what I look for. Anyway guys, this is the final look. This is like my everyday kind of fall look that I would go for. Very tonal, very brown. What I want to accentuate the best brown features of myself. This is the way that I do it. Definitely one of my favorite looks to date. But I also love how it can be used for like a more night sultry look, just adding a little bit of black eyeliner and maybe like a little bit of dark brown eyeshadow at the end. But yeah guys, this is my everyday makeup look. I love you guys so much and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.